There they are, ladies and gentlemen, the stare down and a few words exchanged.
I haven't seen.
You gonna see Saturday,
bro.
Saturday
even
night.
the little clips on the what is called that we just had, the gloves off. What the was you doing?
Hey, you know what?
Gervonta Davis's corner. So you have Coach Calvin, and Coach Calvin is the head trainer, and you have Coach Kenny, who really specializes on preparing game plans specifically for opponents.
Gervonta Davis stunned everyone by slapping Lamont Roach during a heated face-off. The confrontation quickly escalated as Davis boldly stated he's going to break Roach in their upcoming fight. The energy was tense and explosive, with both fighters refusing to back down. This intense moment has only added fuel to their rivalry and set the tone for what could be one of the most aggressive and personal fights of the year. Gervonta Davis has entered a new zone of mental and physical dedication guided. Once again by trusted coach Calvin Ford, he's sharpening his weapons with silent intensity this time. However, the dynamics have changed. Unlike their previous preparation, where the Washington, D.C. contingent played a strong role, the current camp is more tight-knit and focused, with fewer outside influences and tighter information security. There's no risk of strategy leaks. The first fight was clouded by speculation, rumors that Roach was tipped off to Davis's approach. That's no longer a concern. The camp has cut off distractions and placed full energy into refinement, with Ford in his corner and eyes locked on redemption. Davis's preparation suggests a fight far greater in scale and stakes than their initial meeting.
100% correct. Personally, I had Gervonta Davis up a round, because whenever you have rounds where nobody's doing anything, I'm not just going to do what most people do, and especially people that don't like Gervonta Davis, which is just give the round to the other guy, because Gervonta Davis didn't manage to knock him out that round. Okay, so this is Gary Russell Jr. clearly saying, man, no, I don't think Lamont Roach won that fight. You also had Al Bernstein, and Al Bernstein, I'm telling you, is a very, very straight, fair guy. Who I don't know if he was on that call, but he used to work with Showtime. I don't know if he was on there. I don't recall if I heard him. I think it was Rolly Ronaldo that was calling it. But Al Bernstein, who was a very, very objective person, said, hey, look, no. Sorry to break it to you, but Gervonta Davis won that fight. Yeah, Lamont Roach put up a really good fight, but Lamont Roach was not dynamic. He did not do anything to really separate himself from Gervonta Davis. He just kept it equal. He just tried to keep it even the entire fight. And that's not enough, again, to take the belt from the champion. Now, I do want to say that the people that thought that Lamont Roach won, I don't have any problem with that. I really don't have a problem with it at all. I personally, again, had a point for Gervonta Davis, but I can see how those swing rounds really could go, depending on who's looking at it, really could go different ways, right?
The rematch between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach has generated immense commercial success, reflected in the sale of 150,000 pay-per-view units. Well before fight night, this level of anticipation underscores the significance of their rivalry and the public's craving for resolution. Fans remember how tense and unpredictable the first fight was, and are eager to see whether Davis can reclaim control or if Roach will once again rise to the moment. The numbers confirm what analysts expected. This rematch is more than a sequel, it's a headlining event. Such figures also signal that both fighters are not just boxers anymore, but central figures in the sport's ongoing narrative.
Out here selling under 150,000 pay-per-views, you kidding me? Oh man, Face of Boxing, yeah, turn that shit off. Yeah, we shutting that shit down. Every single time. Does Shakur really want to fight Tank? I think Shakur could sell a bit more with somebody else. Especially in Saudi, I feel like they can find him a dancing partner that'll do a little bit better than 150,000. Okay, I get it. This is why PBC delayed this fight for 5 months? Y'all ain't want to pay this motherfucker because y'all know he can't sell. I mean, this should have been evident. If you do the math, Tank has never been that great of a pay-per-view draw. He sold over 300K twice now in his career. He sold over 300K with Ryan Garcia. That's obvious. Ryan's the bigger star. And then he sold over 300 with Martin. He sold about 325. But when we put it in perspective, that Frank Martin fight was a comeback fight after a year layoff, so it was always going to sell. Every comeback fight's going to sell. It was one of the first pay-per-views on Amazon's new PBC deal, so they were really trying to push it. And then he had David Benavidez as the co-main event with Gary Russell and Alberto Puello under them. You take away all those factors that this wasn't a comeback fight. David Benavidez isn't the co-main event, and Amazon has now been in the game for over a year. It makes sense it only sold 150. I know there's going to be a couple of you guys in the comments. No, it sold 500K. Don't be so gullible. They didn't sell 500K. I don't know if Tank's a top... Well, I know for a fact he's not a top 5 draw in the sport of boxing anymore. Well. He's not selling pay-per-views. Bivol better be just triple him. Well, Jerry, their pay-per-views are cheaper. Don't matter. All that matters is who has more eyes watching him, and Bivol and Better BF do. Tank.
Rather than throwing away their original tactics, Davis's team has chosen a smarter route adjustment over overhaul. Reviewing footage from the first fight revealed that timing was off and mid-round confidence dipped. Now, with that knowledge, the team has retold specific elements like attack angles and spacing, focusing on closing the gaps that allowed Roach to find success. It's not about creating a new fighter, it's about perfecting the one already in place. They've identified where caution crept in and replaced it with calculated aggression. This revision makes Davis more dangerous as his foundation stays intact, but his delivery becomes crisper and more decisive.
Got a good chin. Oh, he got a good chin. If you got a good chin, okay, let's go ahead. Let's touch this. The chin ain't the only thing that can get you out of there. There's other things you can do and then go back to the chin. I won't go into details, but I look at shit different from a lot of people, man. You know what I'm saying? You got a fighter that listen, he's gonna be a hell of a fighter if he listens to what I tell him. You know, all fighters don't listen because some missions you put them on, you gotta walk through hell to get it done, and every fighter is not willing to walk through hell. You know what I mean? But the chin is not the only thing to get a fight out of it, and the body's not the only thing to get a fight out of there. It's other shit too. You know. Yeah. You gotta hurt. I believe in hurting them. You can hurt. You gotta hurt them to get it started. You know.
Petey, thank you for the $2. People were surprised by Roach and Tank. What do you think the biggest surprise was in the fight?
It wasn't a surprise because we know Roach. It wasn't a surprise. Roach can fight. A lot of people think because a person is not popular, they don't exist. There's fighters out there that can rumble. They just got to get the opportunity, you know?
What many perceived as a knockdown in their first bout may not have been a true reflection of Davis's vulnerability. Reports have emerged suggesting that the slip was caused by an external irritation, possibly from a grooming product that affected Davis's vision during the fight. If true, this changes the context significantly. It transforms what looked like a flaw in endurance or technique into an unfortunate and avoidable distraction. For supporters, this reinforces their belief in Davis's skill and toughness. It also adds urgency to his team's preparation, making sure nothing as minor as product residue can derail performance in a high-stakes environment.
Everybody really think Tank go take the L. I've been seeing it. They said it's over. They think that this time Lamont go in more confident, knowing that basically he can, really take it to Tank. Yeah, I want him to go in there confident. He's very skilled. Go in there confident because you gonna go up against a different Tank. Like I told y'all in previous videos, he gonna go in there confident, thinking he could walk Tank down. Don't forget, with Tank, if he get you on that button, them lights going off. I don't care who you is. Remember how it ended up with Frank Martin? So yeah, don't go in there thinking that you going against like somebody that, like Ryan Garcia, somebody that's gonna fold. You going against Gervonta Tank Davis. And I think that confidence is what's going to get Lamont dropped. Because one thing I will say, with Tank, that wasn't your best fight against Lamont, bro. I feel like you was in your head too much. You was overconfident. And you was really just, your mind was in y'all story, the lore and everything with y'all history. You ain't going there like, I'm fighting a stranger. You going there like, oh, this Lamont. This from the same camp. We from the same area. But now I think that whole situation woke him up. Because you got to think, Tank not used to losing. He not used to people being against him. He not used to being the one.
Former world champion Mikey Garcia weighed in with thoughtful insight about Davis's chances in the rematch. While praising Davis's natural skill and adaptability, Garcia issued a caution: technical talent alone won't guarantee victory. In his view, mental discipline will be the real test. The distractions outside the ring, public scrutiny, personal matters, and pressure must be shut out. Garcia believes Davis has the tools to win, but only if his...
I want to know, when is the rematch going to happen at this point? Because I'm not going to lie, for it to be a whole month later and y'all still arguing over who actually won, it's just really like, okay, yeah, run it back, because we got to go ahead and settle this, squabble this up. I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to say neither fighter in here is shitty, okay? Because after the fight I seen on March 1st, yeah, they both was tagging shit, both getting up with each other, okay? I feel like this is the perfect match. If anybody's gonna do a rematch, you need to be them, period. And Gervonta was stinging him. I'm not gonna lie, he was stinging him. Great fight for him. But I'm not gonna lie, he came out knowing what he was trying to do. Y'all have to give it to him. Like, y'all just be hating, okay? Y'all can't get in the ring and fucking fight. Y'all just be hating. At least I'm giving them they props, okay? Because Gervonta had a great fight. Don't get me wrong. My money was on him. But I think what messed him up was the fact that when he came out, y'all know he usually be 2 steps ahead. He was 3 steps ahead. I feel like he already had Tank figured out. And he definitely was not expecting that. And him, on the other hand, I think he came in really having something to prove. I'm not going to lie, y'all. Like, it was a really good fight. And I feel like this is how I see it. In the beginning of the fight, he was stinking, back to back, you know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the fight, that's when he finally kicked it up. But I seen consistency through him through the whole fight. Not gonna lie, like, so I just feel like the rematch should have happened, because never know, he might, now that he was 3 steps ahead, become 8 steps ahead, and he might really knock his butt down. But at the end of the day, it's like, we need this rematch, because I don't think this is ever gonna be a dispute that is settled and, you know, officially he won, he lost until they fight. Like, we gotta see it.